We're live. We're live. We're live.
To make it through the show.
We're live.
All right. We gotta do something here.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Your chair's low.
I don't know where my chair is low, but okay.
Stand up. There you go. Okay.
You feel better now?
I'm just trying to get the thing right. Just trying to get the thing right.
Listen, we do have a topic today. We are on habit numero 3 on this Wealth Winning Wednesday.
We're going through the 7 habits of highly effective people. We're on habit number 3. Habit number 3 is put first things first. That's what we're going to do.
Habit number 1 was
be proactive.
Number 2
was
begin with the end in mind. And number 3, which we are going to dig into today, and shout out to For a Life couple. They couldn't join us this morning, but we may be able to snag them another day this week. It was really good having them on with
2
us
days
as
in a
we
row.
chop it or as we chop it.
Do you think we even going to be able to remember how to do it?
How are we going to be able
without
to
them?
be by ourselves?
All by ourselves.
All by myself.
I think we can handle it.
I think we can handle it, but we're going to be right back in a moment.
Good morning. My name is Brian McNeill.
And I am Lisa Santiago McNeill.
And thank you for joining us on our show, Let's Talk About It. We come to each Monday through Friday right here on the SIBN network, on iHeartRadio, YouTube, TuneIn, as well as Facebook Live. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Like. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
I wonder if it's just my screen.
I think it's you. I hope
Pull
it's
up
you.
yours. Let's see.
All right, we'll see. Miss Phyllis, are we frozen, my dear? Are we frozen? Unfreeze me. Unfreeze me. We got to check it out because today we're going to put first things first.
Okay. Looks like we're going now. All right. Put first things first. Now I'm a little bit too high. Okay, cool. Good morning, Miss Phyllis. Good morning, Miss Vicky. I mean, Phyllis, Vicky.
They're the same person.
I was going to say.
She's on YouTube and she's on Facebook. She's just flipping around, jumping around.
Okay. So first off, how was your day yesterday? Last night we held our first launch information session with our business, with our fuel pill business. Wow, why is that difficult today? And it was great. We had a good turnout, and we had good hosts presenting. Of course, Brother Brian's going to learn how to do the presentation himself, so I do it now. But last night we had our guest people present, and it was great. I've been reaching out to people all morning. They've been reaching out to me. Some people that missed it, and some people want to learn about it. So I'm excited about that. Tomorrow is the first, because this month only has 30 days, I think. Tomorrow is the first. So we'll start our first day of the winner of our last month contest.
Brittany Thomas, her 30 days of 30-second commercial.
Yep, for the whole month of December. Every time we're on here, her commercial will run at least once.
Absolutely.
Yep. So, and we've been since Monday of this week, we've been journeying through, show the book, please. One of the books that we believe are essential, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. We're on day 3, chapter 3, put first things first.
Absolutely.
Now, this is one of all the chapters kind of build upon each other. The first one is be proactive. You're not waiting for it to happen. You're figuring out ways to make it happen, making plans. The second one has to do with the mental. Begin with the end in mind, your imagination. This third one here is the physical. We talked yesterday, everything has 2 creations. Mm-hmm. You have to create it in your mind at first, and then you have to do it. Then you can do it physically. You have to imagine the building before you can build the building. Mm-hmm. So today is about the physical manifestation of it. Yesterday was designing it and imagining it, but today is actually doing it. Mm-hmm. Putting first things first. And this is one of the most fun chapters for me. This is one of the chapters that stick with me the most because he has what he called the time matrix in it. And we're going to go through the time matrix.
Absolutely.
If you don't have it pictured, I have it in my thing. You do?
Yeah, I saw it if you're asking.
It's in chapter 3.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I
sent it to you.
Took a picture of it.
Okay. Well, I can give it to you again if you want.
You can.
Okay. The time matrix. It's so cool, how we use our time. And he breaks it down into 4 areas. The first area are things that are important to do and urgent.
Important and urgent.
It's important to do, and it's urgent that you do it right now. It's a fire in the kitchen. It's important that you put that fire out, and it's important that you put it out right now. Urgent things, important things and urgent things. Okay.
And then,
where you want me to put it to? Send it to? No, that's not it. It's this. Yeah. Where do you want me to send it to?
I'll send it to my Facebook Messenger. Are you trying to send it to me to put it on screen?
Yeah, at some point. We don't have to do it the second, but at some point we will. Okay. So this right here is going to go to your text, I think. Okay, so this goes to Connect with Lisa. All right, I'll figure this thing out.
Well, you can just share it with the people. Put it on press Facebook. Nope. Never mind. Not none of those things.
Okay.
Anyway, so we'll get it to you.
We'll get it to you on how we do it. But the second one, the first section of the amount of time we spend on fires, on emergencies. So many businesses, so many lives, they do everything that's emergency, and that's all they do. They put out fires all day. Okay. Sometimes just in households. This kid fell and bumped his head. That kid scraped his knee. Okay. Dinner is late. Everything is a fire. Okay. Everything is urgent. We're late dropping the kids off for school, late waking them up. Everything is operating that way. That's how we spend some of our time in quadrant 1. Quadrant 2 are things that are important to do, but not urgent. They're important to do, but they're not urgent. Things like exercising is important to do, but it's not urgent. Writing letters, thanking people, studying, making plans. They're not urgent to do, but they're important to do. They don't have to be done right now. Learning stuff, being loving to your mate is important to do, but it don't have to be done right now. It's not urgent. Spending time with your children is important to do. It's just not urgent. Okay. That's quadrant 2. Quadrant 3 is things that are not important, but urgent. They're not important to do, but they're urgent. It could be a meeting. It could be the TV show is starting in a few minutes. Okay. That's not important, but it has to happen right now. It could be a ringing phone, and you look at your phone, it's such and such. And they never got nothing to say. You have any friends like that? They call you with never nothing to say or never talk about anything? Oh, so you have to screen them.
But I think sometimes they don't know what to say.
Okay, it could be they just want to be in your company. It could be, but those are things that are not important, but they're urgent. Okay, and I saw that face. And some things that could be important, but there are some things that we spend our time on that's not important to do, but it's urgent. It could be a ringing phone. It could be, just a lot of stuff right now. And then the last quadrant of our time is things that's not important and not urgent. Most of the television we watch is not important and not urgent. Most of the things we do that are tension relieving is not important and not urgent. Okay. Now, out of all these uses of our time, guess where most people spend most of their time?
In quadrant 1.
Most people spend time in quadrant 3 and 4 or 1. Okay, 3 and 4 is things that's not really that important, but urgent, and not important and not urgent. That's where most people spend most of their days.
You know why?
Wallowing. Yeah. I have an idea why. But what do you say?
It's difficult to get people to respect quadrant 2.
But quadrant 2, things that are important to do but not urgent, that's where all the winning happens. That's where the improvements to your life happens. That's where you grow. Doing things that are important to do but not urgent to do. That's where all of the success happens. Quadrant 2. It's not urgent, but it is important. Good morning, Sister Gloria. Good morning, Sister Katura. Good morning, Sister Jacqueline. To you. We're on quadrant 3. I mean, we're on habit number 3. We're journeying through. And habit number 3 is put first things first. Do things important. Every day, we all have a lot of things we can do. We have a lot of things you can do, but some things are more important than others. Good morning, Sister Ella. And good morning, Brother Tarnez. I'm telling you, Lisa, we got the whole screen to ourselves. We got to handle the show by ourselves.
I miss For Life couple already.
I'm saying, if we had a few moments, like, can we do it without them?
Good morning, Charlie Kearns. I really think
Charlie's not late today.
Not today. I really think the 4 quadrants in the 7 habits of highly effective people in habit number 3, it actually. It's good in its framework and it's good in some applications, but I honestly believe that there are some difficulties with relegating or designating certain things to certain quadrants.
Okay.
Because like when you put urgent and important, that phone ringing, that fire in the kitchen, that whatever, right? That phone ringing is important, but there are some things that should take precedence over even all of that.
Okay.
And it's difficult, particularly for me. Maybe
things that are quadrant 1 you're discussing now, urgent and important, right?
They take precedent over things that really are about to become urgent.
Okay.
In quadrant number 2.
Yes. Well, wait a minute. Make sure I understand what you're saying, okay?
Quadrant number 2 is important but not urgent.
Right.
Right.
That's right. Quadrant number 2 is
and
important.
when we don't manage our time, if we don't manage our sphere in quadrant number 2, it's very easy for things that are important but not urgent to become urgent. And what happens is we live our life with them slipping over into urgent, oftentimes because until they got urgent, we didn't give them the attention.
Exactly.
We didn't give them the priority, the attention. And I often wonder, did they become that way because we have become firefighters in our lives? We have become like the most important thing. That's what gets our energy. The crying baby, that's what's going to get us. The pot boiling over, that's what's going to get us. And we almost can't manage the level of creativity, expeditiousness, all of those things when we are not in quadrant number 1.
Wow, you're probably right. We don't like it. When you said that, I'm thinking about this one bill I have, okay? And
this one what?
This one bill, okay? It wasn't urgent, but it is important. I like to drive in the what do you call that lane?
The express lane.
The express lane. I like to drive in the express lane. And Lisa and I, we went ahead and applied for, we got the daggone things to read.
The transformer.
The transformers to read it and everything. Well, but you got to renew them like every year.
And I have.
Okay. And you have.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there was a period where it wasn't renewed. Okay. And I got a bill on it. Okay. Now the bill wasn't that much. Okay. So, but I didn't pay it because it wasn't urgent. Okay. So, and guess what else I didn't do? Not only did I didn't pay the bill, but I also kept driving in the express lane. Okay. Because I don't want to be driving in traffic if I can avoid it.
With the plebeians.
Baby, you don't have to say everything I say in the car.
Drive over there. Poo-poo.
Golly, Tarnez, come get your girl.
I love
you. Don't have to say that.
No, and I'm not saying that in that way. So what I actually would like to sort of remark on. Good morning, Judy. Good morning, Craig Sad. Thank you for joining us this morning.
1,000 degrees.
That's right. Is that sometimes, and so this is, let me
finish my point though.
Go ahead.
Okay, so because I kept driving over there, because I keep driving in that lane, because I don't want to drive into traffic if I can help it, that bill has went from little to a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger. Now, at some point, I'm not going to be able to not pay it. Because at some point, I'm going to have to renew a tag, or do something.
And it's not because he can't pay it.
It's not because I can't pay it, okay? But I'm going to have to handle it, okay? And the point is, what Lisa just highlighted to me is, am I going to wait until it becomes urgent to handle?
Urgent and important.
Yes.
I think that's your motivation oftentimes. And I don't.
And I think you're right. I think you're right. I think that's most people's motivation oftentimes.
When I was 20, my cousin Chelo and I had our first apartment. No, I think I was 16 or 17. We had our first apartment. And they kept on sending us these things called bills in the mail, particularly the electric bill. Now, this was our first foray into bills. And they sent us a bill, and we thought that was a nice thing. That was a nice little reminder. Yes, we have electricity. We'll get to it. Then they sent us another bill. Reminder, you haven't paid your electric bill. We haven't paid the electric bill. I know, we're going to get to it. We'll do it. They sent us a pink one.
Final
electric
notice?
Bill. No, that's the red one.
Okay.
They sent us a pink one. Electric bill. You got to pay it. Oh, okay. Well, the lights still work. We'll pay it eventually.
Oh, that's thanks. I need to pay my quick pass. That's right.
They sent us the red one, and the red one was actually, your lights will be cut off tonight by 5:00. And we got home and was no light. We had to use candles, and that was the end of that. But had we addressed it when it was still a white bill, or even a yellow bill, or even a pink bill, we would have been able to avoid being in the quadrant number 1, urgent and important. It was important in quadrant number 2, but it didn't get the attention that it needed, and it didn't even drive us to the attention.
First things first. That's a great story. I've had my lights cut out before for the same thing as happened to
Not
you.
because you couldn't afford it.
Right. I've had it happen the same thing. And here's what I've learned about when your lights get cut off, okay?
They off.
They get off, but what they also are incredible motivators.
Yeah.
You get off your
Get
ass.
resourceful. You get resourceful.
When your lights get cut off.
And that's what I'm talking about.
Has anyone here ever had that happen to them?
But that's what I'm talking about, quadrant number 1.
Yeah.
Quadrant number 1, get stuff done.
Yeah.
And so because it gets stuff done, I often wonder how many things actually don't get done because you don't have the same adrenaline.
Yeah.
You don't have the same gotta.
Wow.
It's not Lisa, that you mishandled it, but your fervor is not the same.
I wonder if we were trained to be that way. You know?
I know in some
how many comedians have you heard tell the joke about black people don't open their mail right away? Black people don't pay their bill until they get the final notice. They don't pay nothing early. Ha, ha, ha. We've heard these jokes over and over and over again my whole life. It's been propagated to me. And who taught me how to handle money? Nobody. When I first got money, really my own money, I was in the Army. I was 17. And they started paying me twice a month. And then they set the daggone credit union to us to sign us up for credit union accounts at our posts. We didn't have to go to the bank. The bank came to us.
Tarnez says it's important when you're in dark. Absolutely.
You get motivated.
You get inspired. You get creative. You get all of these things.
You get resourceful.
You get resourceful.
You can think of stuff.
Absolutely. Gloria says, this sounds like my story. I wait to the last minute. I work at getting better at that. I think we do. In order to get better at that, we have to examine it. We get to really look at what happens, because I think we try to all when we have these aha moments. I'm going to put my things in the right quadrant. I'm going to put exercise over here in 2, and I'm going to take it out of 4. I'm going to take it out of right. But understand, exercise gets into 1 when you about to die.
Ooh, Lisa is bringing it, y'all. If y'all don't realize how awesome she's been in the first 18 minutes of this show today, she is bringing it. She's bringing the wood, y'all. I'm telling you. You are bringing it, baby.
Thank you.
Except for talking junk about me.
I'm sorry, baby. Jacqueline says this conversation is so important and needs to be discussed. What's important to some is not important to others, and what is urgent to some is not urgent to others. And this is where my adult children would make me crazy. When I need them to act with urgency, I have to ask more than once, often keep them in my mind. Squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Yes.
Understand that everybody has to assess their own quadrants, because some people are managing their quadrants. And when I say that, I'm saying,
when we're talking
oh
quadrants,
my
talking
God,
about how we use our time. How we use our time.
Oh my God, that procrastination has served you. It has served you well for so long. That last minute deadline that you stayed up all night and came out with some fire, you put it into quadrant number 1 and you had to execute.
You know, you're right. I got an A on a paper that was important to me.
It was always important.
That we had a long time to do, but I didn't do it till the night before. I mean, I was up 3 or 4 in the morning finishing this thing, and it was good.
And a lot of people think that that's a testament to laziness and improper planning. But understand that sometimes quadrant 2 holds the inspiration.
1 holds the inspiration.
Quadrant 1 holds the inspiration. Quadrant 2 may have the important but not urgent. But important and not urgent with no inspiration is not going to get
You're
done.
making me see this entirely different now. That night before the finals, it was important to me to get a good grade.
All along.
I valued that grade. Okay?
All along. You didn't just start valuing that grade on the day before.
But I didn't have to do it. And there was no one to ask me to do it, no one to motivate me to do it.
Now, you say you didn't have to do it. I'm saying that there were times in my scenarios when I had those same situations, when I was at IBM and had deadlines, when I was working with my clients and have deadlines and all that. It's not because I didn't have time. It's because I didn't have inspiration.
Yes, that's what I'm getting out of this from you today, baby. It's not that it's not important. It is. But if it's not urgent, why bother?
Miss Phyllis says pretty colors, lip and top, Lisa. But what happened to off the shoulder? I know. I have one more off the shoulder.
Does she have to be off the shoulder every day?
And I thought, oh my God, I've been off the shoulder all this week. Maybe I need to cover my shoulders. A good reference.
See, Miss Phyllis, she had the thought I probably should cover my shoulders. What I do is.
That was loud.
I don't know what that was. Okay.
Okay.
What I was saying was I knew I was going to wear a sweater today. It's cold down here and it's rainy and it's gray. This is sweater weather. Okay.
Sweater weather.
So I knew I was going to wear a sweater today before the show started.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good morning, Melissa.
First things first. First things first. Put first things first. This is quadrant number 3.
Come on, Brother Mark.
First, I Papa freaks all the honeys, dummies, Playboy bunnies, those wanting money. Those are the ones I like because they don't get Nathan, but
stop.
Stop. It smells like sanitation. However,
no, I'm not going to do this with you. Miss Phyllis says, same here. You can do the off the shoulder, Brian, LOL. Melissa says, love that Pawpaw. Would rock that myself. Yes, he does love it. I actually dug out all of his sweaters. He had them hiding. Brother Mark, yeah, they were hiding.
Okay.
Brother Mark says, when the lights are cut off, you will develop an appreciation for the light. When the lights are back on, you should emerge from the darkness with a different mindset.
Okay.
There is a message in that statement. Lisa Santiago McNeill, you are dropping gems this morning.
There you go. She did it in the stylings of Mr. Mark Greer.
I was excited yesterday. I thought you had joined our call last night. It was another Mark. And I'm happy he was there, but I thought that was Brother Mark Greer.
Last night you thought it was Mark Greer? Lisa got hyped.
I was so excited. I was like, ah! Oh. I tried not to say oh because I didn't want to not appreciate the other Mark.
Last night we hosted a meeting with the fuel pill business that we've been endeavoring to do, and we had 13 or 14 people in the room, so it was pretty cool. So she saw a Mark pop in the room. She thought it was you, Mark. So anyway, Miss Melissa Price says,
I love that sweater, Paw. I would rock that myself.
Good. Amen. I like this sweater too. Speaking of Paw, Melissa Price calls me Paw B, and I am Paw B. Last night about 9:30, I posted one of my old Paw B stories to LinkedIn. I said, anybody want a bedtime story? And I posted it in a couple of groups, and it was fun to do.
So Miss Phyllis says, why do we wait until the lights are off to try to get up the money when did they think it wasn't going to be turned off? Really? Yeah, we thought it wasn't going to be turned off. This was our first apartment, and we thought like, oh, this was nice. They're giving us a reminder. And we also were of the mindset, like many of the children that Jacqueline talks about, that you just got to keep saying it over and over and over again, even though we were grown.
Mhm.
Well, we were 16 and 17. She was 17, I was 16.
Good morning, Dr.
And
Jeff.
so
How
we
you
thought
doing?
they were just giving us suggestions, and not so much.
Yeah. So yes, but you making me look at it differently.
Mhm.
Okay, because I read the book 6 or 7 times,
Mhm.
but I didn't see it like this until this morning.
Mhm.
This part we talk about habit number 3. Habit number
First
3.
things first.
Put first things first.
And
from
in
the
that-
classic book. Show up again, please. From the classic book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which we consider an essential.
Absolutely.
You have to read it. Okay.
And in this book, there is an exploration into the 4 quadrants
Of time
that we get to allocate our lives.
The first quadrant is things that are urgent and important. They have to be done now, and they're important to be now. The second quadrant are things that are not urgent
but important.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
It's not urgent to do this, but it's important to do. Quadrant 3 are things that are not important and urgent.
Mhm.
They're not important at all, but it is urgent. It could be the ringing phone. It could be the meeting. And quadrant 4 is things that's not important and not urgent. A lot of the television we watch is not important and is not urgent. Okay, but it's just tension relieving instead of goal achieving. However, Lisa is making me change my perspective, because I know intellectually the winning happens in quadrant 2. Things that are not urgent but important. That's where you should spend your time. However, it's been my experience in my life that stuff happens when it's important and urgent. When the lights get turned off, stuff moves. The name of the book is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Stephen Covey.
By Stephen R. Covey. And he spells Stephen with PH. Now, there's some offshoots from his book, too. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens. 7 Habits of Highly Effective Parents. So, but go get just the original. Highly Effective People.
I think that was the best one. I think the other ones got watered down.
The teens one especially, I think, is watered down. But anyway, because Brother Brian had to see, is he telling the teenagers anything different than the grown-ups? And he wasn't.
And because he wasn't a teenager when he wrote it, the language didn't even really resonate with the teenagers.
He was like damn near 60.
Like, come on. Like, it doesn't.
So 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. We can name some books that we consider essential. Besides the Bible, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is essential. Think and Grow Rich is essential by Napoleon Hill. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Carnegie is an important book, an essential read. Man's Search for Meaning is an essential read. Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. You know, about the Holocaust. These are just certain books that come to my mind that are essentials. You have to read them. The One Thing by Keller. That's an essential book.
Williams.
Yeah. You got to read those books. The One Thing. That's a modern one. No, maybe because I'm talking about age, but the ones I named are all
Think and
on the
Grow
books.
Rich, A Black Choice. Absolutely.
Yeah. We
actually shared the stage with him.
Yeah, I got pictures with him. One of my heroes. Dennis Kimbrough.
Yes.
Kimbrough. Okay.
Yeah. So bearing those things in mind. So let's bear in mind that these are ideal places to put the things that occur in your life so that you can manage them.
And reading those books is quadrant 2. They're not urgent, but they're important to do. Go ahead, baby. Sorry.
But you also get to evaluate what inspires you to do what, so that you can properly assess when you have to move things or when you get to move things, so that you can reconcile them with yourself.
The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz is another essential read. It's just coming to me now. I named 5 or 6, I think. Did you capture all the books I said are essential reads?
Jacqueline says, wanted to be there last night and my internet would not work. I've been looking for some businesses that my family across the country can do together. Hope you all will do another presentation for the pill again. Absolutely.
They do presentations formally every week, but you don't have to wait for a presentation. You can just talk to me or Lisa. We can do a presentation ourselves. We don't have to wait for nothing. And what a great idea, Sister Jacqueline, a business family can do together. There are certain businesses, I think, whose time has come. This is a good place for the commercial if we have time to do that. But I think you can do a whole lot of things. I do think gas prices are high and going to get higher. I do think the economy is rough and it's going to get rougher. And I do think there's certain things that you could put off and wait. But I think this is the kind of thing most people I talk to right now hadn't heard of it, but you're going to hear about it again and again and again. Because when gas prices go up, people look for solutions to gas prices going up. And we got some.
Absolutely.
And we have our own, she's running that thing again, and we have our own experience. Lisa and I, oh my God.
Oh my God.
Lisa came home and told me yesterday.
I told the truth that I should have kept it to myself.
I don't know how to handle it.
Because he's not happy about it.
I'm not happy about this.
And I wasn't doing it to be unsafe.
Lisa drives. In my household, I'm the fast driver, okay? But I drive 80, okay? I drive 80 pretty much most of the time.
Not
80,
me.
okay? Lisa don't drive 80. She drives 65, 70. That's what she drives. Yesterday, she was late to something, and she was hustling to where she was going, and she told me she looked down at the speedometer and was doing what?
110.
110. She was on the highway driving 110. This woman don't drive that fast.
First of all, it's not that I don't drive that fast. My car don't drive that fast.
Okay, your car don't drive that fast normally. But since you've been using these gas pills, the car has a lot more power. It just flat does. Okay.
And before I realized it, I was trying to get the GPS trying to catch up with the GPS and keep going and keep going. And the GPS says that I would arrive at 10:20. Well, my appointment was at 10:15. And I was like, oh my God. And I was already
trying to make up 5 minutes.
I was trying to make up 5 minutes. So I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So I just went a little faster. Naturally, I thought I'm going a little faster. I'm just going to go a little faster. And well, before I realized it, the GPS, the little box in the lower left-hand corner of the GPS tells you the speed that you're going. And so instead of going 80, which I thought was me going fast, right? I'm going to go 80. At least Brian does it all the time. I'll be fine. I'm going to keep up with the flow of traffic, right? I was dusting the people on the road. And that GPS said 110. I said, oh my God. I pulled all the way over to the slow lane. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Dr. Deborah, can you believe it? Get her, Dr. Deborah.
Dr. Deborah knows I don't drive that fast.
Good morning, Marilyn E. Porter. Good morning, Valerie Brooks. Good morning to you. We see some of you guys swing through.
I can't find it. I'm sorry, sweetheart.
It's no problem.
That's not
Dr. Deborah says sometimes you have to recognize that for a season, you might have to pivot away, but you get to come back. No harm, no foul.
Absolutely.
No harm, no foul. And you're right. Sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes these entrepreneurs, me too, sometimes you have to pivot and take a job. You got to go get a job. You had to go get a job for a season. I took a job in 2013. I was there for 3 months, and it made me appreciate the struggle more. I took a job for 3 months, and I did good with those 3 months. I really did. Okay, got top salesperson. I took my training seriously. I met some cool people, but I couldn't stand it because I wasn't me.
And really going back to the level of inspiration that's necessary for what you do, for what I do as a creator.
That inspired me to work harder in my business, that job
absolutely.
I took. Mm-hmm.
But for what I do, for much of what I do, creativity is a requirement. Creativity is not really a skill that you can hone. Creativity requires more inspiration. My grandmother used to say her muse. Mm-hmm. Her muse would come visit.
It's cool that your grandmother even say things like that to you. My grandmother didn't say stuff like that to me.
Well,
my grandmother was a saint, but she didn't talk about her muse.
My grandmother was an artist. She did stained glass. She did acrylic painting. Wow. She did.
That's what you was exposed to?
Yeah, she was an artist, and this is probably the fourth career was an artist. She was a casting director on soap operas in California. Then she was a casting director on Broadway, but always in the arts in some way. And so in one of her later years, she was an acrylic art. She was also a pianist.
Wow, artsy as hell.
She played by ear, absolutely. She was left-handed, and she was a model, and she did a lot of things. Amen. No, it was crazy.
I couldn't believe it. I was not happy when I heard it, but because I know you don't drive like that.
Brother Mark says Lisa was doing that NASCAR thing on the highway 110. Wow, was that the gas pill or the lead foot? Let me tell you something.
He says also, I guess we need to call you Speedy from now on.
Let me tell you something. My foot could be as lead as it wanted to be. That car was not doing 110.
Before you start using those pills.
No.
They do help the car to run more powerfully, but still.
Yeah. But the necessity of the muse is something that really came into play because my grandmother had a beautiful painting of a woman in a red dress. Beautiful, beautiful big painting that she did of a black woman in a shapely, sexy black woman in a red dress. And she sold it. But my aunt, her sister, Aunt Cynthia, wanted it. She wanted the same picture, but it was already sold. So Aunt Cynthia said, that's fine. Just draw me one. Ooh. Just paint me one.
Ooh, this is going to be a good story. Go ahead. Go ahead. I heard this story before, but go ahead.
Then my grandmother's like, I can't just paint you one. She says, well, you know how to paint it. You already painted it. Well, she contracted her and she paid her. Her sister actually respected the art and actually paid her for the contracting of this particular painting. And my grandmother would talk to me often. She was like, that lady would not come. That lady would not come
onto the canvas.
The lady would not come out of the canvas. And she would just pray. She would conjure. She would try to do everything to make it come. And that's one of the things that I have to remind myself when I get frustrated with the laundry list of things that I must do, that there is some things that even though they are important and urgent, when the muse comes, that's going to take precedence of everybody.
Good story.
It's going to take precedence. It's going to say, go put the fire out yourself because right now she's here and I have to paint.
I got it. Dr. Deborah Dunstan says,
I might not have taken a job, but as I was drowning in what I used to do as a job, I realized that I felt like I had a job again.
Yeah.
Now I have to be a little more selective and creative with the clients I serve while still making room to do what I love.
Dr. Deborah Dunstan, I feel you.
Mm-hmm.
I can relate to that drowning feeling.
Yeah.
You know, I got out of doing it over there, but now I've created on my own a situation where I'm doing the same thing that I was drowning on before.
That's been the challenge. But that's also been the challenge as well, even with publishing. Oftentimes you want to help people to create the best project, but they want to create a project.
Yeah.
They just want to get it published. Well, I have to decide before I start working with someone that they respect the process. They respect the coaching. They respect me as a spiritual director, and they respect the fact that we've got a process to go through. And if you just want this book published, well, you can just get a book published anywhere, or you can do it yourself, or I can help you to decide how to manage that. But when you really want to get it done with the integrity that I really prefer to have on a project, then you get to understand what's going to be required.
First things first.
First things first.
First things for prioritizing stuff.
Absolutely.
Doing first things first. This is the action habit. Putting first things first. There was a great book written in the 80s called Eat That Frog by a guy named Brian Tracy. Eat That Frog.
My favorite manager, Lisa Richardson, used to send that to me.
Eat That Frog. Here's the principle of it. The principle of it is if you have to eat a frog, you just don't want to look at it all day. Just eat and get it over with, okay? Eat That Frog means the most important and most unpleasant task of your business, do first. The thing that's important to do, but you don't like to do it, eat the frog and get that behind you. Then work on the stuff that's more fun to do.
Absolutely. That's right.
Sister Gloria Henderson
Sister Gloria says, when I'm feeling overwhelmed with my task, I pray for an egg to do all things with ease, grace, and glory.
Egg, yes.
I like that. Don't do it with egg, do it with egg on your face. Ease, grace, and glory.
Yes.
Jacqueline says, my last job or 9 to 5. I worked in
1976.
My goodness.
At the post office. Went
office.
back 3 times for holiday work. Loved working as a cosmetologist and controlling my own hours and money. Let me say, I am just spoiled. Making cards and having multiple streams of income does it for me. They add to an income that works for me.
Amen.
I am so happy for you. And you know what, Sister Jacqueline? I pray more money for you because your stuff is worth more.
Absolutely.
Your stuff is worth more. Your skills is worth more. I pray you prosper beyond what you could even hope for or imagine. I pray that for you. I want that for you, Sister Jacqueline. I want it for you. So we're about to do our greeting. Oh, we got time still. I'm going to tell you a story about, at the time, the largest company in the world was U.S. Steel. This is in the 1930s. U.S. Steel was the biggest company in the world. And it was run by a guy named Schwab. Okay, a guy named Schwab was running the company. And the company started getting a little bit less profitable and a little bit less profitable, a little bit less profitable, and a little bit less profitable. And they could not figure out why they keep losing profits. Things are going down, down, down. And they went that way for a long time. A guy named Ivy Lee, an efficiency expert, approached them about solving their problem. And he said, Mr. Schwab, this is what I want you to do. Today, before you leave the office, I want you to write down the 6 most important things you need to get done tomorrow. The 6 most important things. Mm-hmm. And tomorrow when you get to work, I want you to work on the single one most important thing. Until that thing is done, don't work on number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't work on none of those until the one most important thing of the day is done. And he says, and when you get that one thing done, he says, you go to number 2? No, you go to the new number 1 most important thing to be done. And he says, look, I'm giving you this system here. I want you to try it out. And I want you to try it with your managers. And you pay me for whatever you think it was worth whenever you feel like it. Okay? That's what he told him. So Schwab did that. He started using the system. He made all of his managers use the system. He felt like this was the single greatest thing that he had ever learned. And he paid Ivy Lee a check for $1 million. Okay? Priorities. First things first. Work on the first thing until that first thing is done.
I think that's good counsel, but I think that actually gets to be done on so many different things that sometimes when you're doing those priorities, let's say you're applying those priorities work, applying those priorities health, applying those priorities children, applying those priorities to marriage, applying
community, church, everything.
There's ones in all these places. Yep. Good morning, William Brown.
There's ones in all these places.
There's ones in all these places, right? And then you get to go and reprioritize all those.
Which of the ones is the one?
Right, all those ones. And that's where you've got to get principled, if you will. Mm-hmm. You have to get principled on what goes into which place for what. And I think a lot of it comes down to what's necessary and what's most important in what area. What are we focusing on? Are we focusing on the business? Are we focusing on the family? Are we focusing on the relationship? Are we focusing on the children? Are we focusing on the health? Are we focusing on the whatever it is that we're focusing on? Now we've got to still come to a consensus that prioritization is going to be accepted and understood.
That's another thing I learned being married to Lisa. I got this realization. We're going to read you what you said, Sister Jacqueline. Good morning, Sheila, and good morning, William Brown. Lisa and I can do anything that we're focused on. We accomplish everything that we're focused on that time. Whatever we're trying to do, if we're focused on that, it gets done. But the thing is, like, our focus can be scattered. Sister Jacqueline says,
thank you, Brian and Lisa. Bless you both. I pray.
Wait, that's not how she said it. She goes, thank you, Brian and Lisa. Bless you both. I pray the same. I pray same for you. Seriously, I just told God, it's your girl. And please do some extra, extra. Read all about it. Blessings for my new friends, Brian and Lisa.
Amen. I want to show them what I got that I claimed as my birthday present. Jacqueline has invented
show the cover first.
Pop-up birthday card that I have decided is my birthday card.
Wow, I didn't see this card before.
No, you didn't. But look.
What the heck? Oh my gosh!
You see it?
Wait.
It's 3-dimensional.
Look at this. Look at that. This is a card.
Okay? But inside it,
look at that.
It's 3-dimensional.
What?
And it is beautiful.
I hadn't seen this card before.
No, I didn't share it with you. And I'm not giving it to anybody either, Jack.
This is gorgeous.
This is for my birthday.
Give me the daggone thing because just the cover of it, the outside of it, it's got so many dimensions.
Right.
This is handmade. You know, look at the back. The detail is amazing. And when you look at it, and when you open it and look at it, every angle you're looking at it is a new picture.
Beauty. Yes,
it's a new picture. Everyone is a new picture. And then when you get it all the way, it's a whole new picture.
It's a pop-up book.
Wow.
It's a pop-up book. Look at that.
I've never seen even a pop-up book with 4 dimensions.
This is beautiful.
4 layers.
It is beautiful.
Jacqueline, how'd you do this?
It's beautiful.
How'd you do this, Sister Jacqueline? How'd you make this?
It's beautiful. She cut each layer and then assembled them. And it's beautiful.
How?
Amen. Stephanie says, Lisa, you've kept all the cards. No, I didn't. I mailed one to New Jersey. And I released it. And I earmarked another 2 to go to New Jersey.
Dr. Deborah says, Lisa, I like the way you explain that way. Prioritize all the ones. Stephanie Marcy giving that away. That's freaking amazing. We're going to have to hustle because it's time for us to do the greeting songs. Sister Gloria says, beautiful, Miss Jacqueline. Miss Jacqueline is very creative. I patiently wait for my cards. You get you some cards too, Gloria? And Deborah says, beautiful. And Jacqueline says, Lisa, you are so funny. Brian, it was so easy. No, it wasn't.
You are so anointed.
It was not easy. You're never going to get me to believe. Like, it's not easy. Here's how I know it's not easy. Because I couldn't do this. Even if you gave me instructions, even if you gave me everything cut out and laid out for me, I am incapable of doing this. It might be easy for you because of, like Lisa said, you're anointed. But other people can't do this. They can't do this. I could never do that.
Amen.
All right, the greeting songs time.
Miss Phyllis is here.
Miss Phyllis is here. So clear the way.
Miss
Phyllis is here. Now we can all have a great day. Good morning, Miss Phyllis.
Good morning,
Miss Couture is here. Back to life. Back to Couture Green.
However do you want it?
However do you need it?
Do you need it?
And Gloria.
We think you got the number.
Gloria.
We think you got the answer.
Gloria.
I don't remember the last.
We got to come up with something because it doesn't work the way the song is. Sister Jacqueline, well, according to Jacqueline and
Jacqueline Rosie, pretty little one that I adore. You're the only one my heart beats for. I'm so glad that you are mine.
Thank you again for joining us, Miss Ella.
Hey, beautiful Ella. I know my umbrella. Ella.
We're gonna go with that. That works fine for me.
Hey, brother Tarnez.
He does his nice and easy part, but I'm gonna do this part. Do it, baby. Do it, baby.
Hey.
Do it, baby. Do it, Tarnez. Yeah. Mr. Charlie Currents. He's got a whole ministry going on with his hook shots. And he submitted a song.
I'm not throwing away my shot.
I'm not throwing away my shot. He's Charlie Currents, a basketball artist, and he's not throwing away his shot. Good morning, Charlie. Craig Sabb. Craig, let me borrow your VCR so I can double tape. Craig Sabb. 1,000 degrees.
You'll be on your knees.
And you'll be burning, begging, please. Brother Freeze. Good morning, Craig. How you doing?
Judah. Hey, Judah. Good morning.
Do we have a jam for Judy? Because Judy deserves a jam.
To talk to Judy this morning.
This morning you talked to Judy? How about that?
I love it. I talked to a couple of my sisters today already.
Yeah, well, I've been doing business this morning already.
I've been doing love.
Dr. Beverly has a jam too. He goes, Dr. Beverly! It's on the show. Keep going.
Drink something. Because I don't know what happened with that.
My whole whole voice left me. Take two. Dr. Beverly is on the show. Good morning, Dr. Beverly. Scroll.
Good morning. Melissa's on. I need a sip now.
We got to hustle.
We ain't got to hustle.
Bam, 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 bam. Melissa's on. Now it's time for us to
sing her song. Melissa's on.
Good morning, Miss Melissa Price.
Brother Mark is here, baby.
So wide you can't get around it.
So low you can't get under it.
So high you can't get over it.
Mark Greer is under a groove.
He's getting down just for the funk of it. Mark Greer is under a groove. Nothing can stop us now. We got Stephanie Morris is in the house. Miss Sheila Gothard, you can get a jam. Sheila, just recommend a song that works with you and your name or genre of music, and we'll find you a greeting song. You've popped your head in here enough times to get you a jam.
Stephanie, life has new meaning to me.
There is beauty up above and things we never take notice of. You wake up and Stephanie, you're in love.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Dr. Deborah, trauma healing and deliverance coach.
Mm-hmm. That's what Dr. Deborah is. And you don't even have to, Dr. Deborah is anointed in that area too, because I always go back to this moment that I saw. I saw a real life example happen with Dr. Deborah. We were going to the same church, and we had gotten there about the same time. And Dr. Deborah had went on ahead of Lisa and I, and she sat down like with a seat on the edge open so that her husband could sit there when he gets there. Okay, so she sat in the second seat away from the aisle, and as soon as she sat down, another lady from the church rushed over there and sat down next to Dr. Deborah, and later on, I asked Dr. Deborah, did you know her? She goes, no, I didn't know her. I was like, well, what's up? She had some stuff that she wanted to talk about. And it was amazing to me to watch that. That lady saw Dr. Deborah go sit down, and whatever her concern was, she felt, I need to talk to her, and I need to talk to her now. I saw it with my own eyes, okay? And Dr. Deborah told me that happens all the time, Brian. Wherever I sit down, somebody wants to... Happens to Lisa too, walking around with Lisa. People want to talk to her and standing in the grocery line.
Brian is not quite, well, he's actually recovered from that by simply not going in the store with me.
Well, even I go to the store now, people think I'm approachable and they want to talk to me.
But not for the same reason. They want to ask him questions because they think he works there. He's the associate manager everywhere we go. Even if he's not wearing red shirt and khaki pants.
Or whatever it is, I do look like every store's manager. Apparently so.
It's time for William Brown.
Dang, how's it go? It goes,
Good morning to our friend Bill. Nobody thinks like him still.
We love him so, and we always will.
Our friend Bill.
I gotta get my voice right because I got two clients this morning. I got one client this morning, and we have a meeting at 1:00 today. And then after that, I think I'm done for the day.
All right.
I think I'm working half a day.
Well, we look forward to seeing you on tomorrow with habit number 4 of the 7 habits of highly effective people. We hope that you take some time to just assess where you're going.
Dr. Deborah, when she told the story before, when she first met Lisa, we were at a conference. Lisa and I were speaking at the conference. I don't think Dr. Deborah was speaking at this particular conference. She was in attendance. But she saw Lisa speak, and she told her husband, I need to talk to that woman.
And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that.
This was up in the DMV.
I'm grateful that the one thing that I probably held on to for the longest, which was trying to look more righteous than I was, has actually become the very thing that God is using to liberate so many people.
Yeah, you don't look like that.
Now, you can look righteous, but you don't have to perpetrate fake righteousness. I'm righteous because of God's forgiveness, not because of my perfection. But I appreciate that I don't have to be fearful of anything that was, because what was is in the past.
We gotta go.
Love you, mean it. Don't forget to have sex.
Bye-bye. See you tomorrow.